Hello everyone, welcome to the Fruities Programmer, where code and music meet creativity. And today I'm going to show you how can you build a quiz app, so in this way you can enjoy doing trivia with your friends and family by guessing the correct answer of your question. So let's go! If you like the video and you want to see more tutorials like this, you can help me by hitting the like button, subscribe, and also share the videos with your family and friends. Also, if you have any questions, please don't forget that you can make a post on the comment section and I will be more than happy to help you. Before we dive into the coding session as we have been doing on previous lessons, I'm going to show you a live demo, so in this way you can see how the app looks like and what you are going to be building with me. So let's go to the monitor. The app that we are going to be building today is a quiz app. And as you see here, it is a card where we have the name of the app, and then we have questions with multiple choices. In this case, you can declare the number of questions that you want as well as the answers too. So let's show you the first question: what does HTML stands for? Once we choose the option that we want, in this case, for example, the first one, the remaining options in this case will be disabled, so you will only have one chance of selecting the question that you want, so be careful with it. And once that we select our option, or in this case our answer, we click on the next to go to the next question. Then what the CSS control, in this case styling, again will be disabling all the choices once we choose the one that we think that is correct. And then let's click on next. For the next one, in this case, which language makes websites interactive, we know that is JavaScript. So let's click on JavaScript. And after this, if we click on next, it will be showing you the score that you got. In this case, of course, I already know all the answers, so we got a 3 of 3. But these questions can be managed and changed on the coding session, and I'm about to show you. So stay with me on the coding session because we are going to continue learning more about how the web development works, as well as some tricks that we can do at the time of working in this type of apps. Let's go. Let's start by creating a folder as we have been doing on previous lessons. So as you know, in my case, I always create the folder on the desktop. So I create a folder that is called quiz app. You can put the name of your choice. Once you have the folder created, we can proceed to open on VS Code and also open the browser of your choice. So I already have it open here. We are going to proceed to create the 3 necessary files that we need. So the first one is going to be index.html. Second one, styles.css. And the third one, script.js. Good. Let's proceed with the HTML. Type the exclamation mark to use the emet abbreviation. Tap on it to generate the type structure. And now let's make a right click on the index.html to open with live servers. So now we should be able to see our changes here on real time. So let's start by changing the title. In this case, we are going to put quiz app. Let's create the style sheet, in this case the link tag to refer the styles.css here. The body here, let's open a div tag in this case, and we want a class of quiz container. Good. We want then to put an h1 heading that says the same as the document quiz app. We want to open here another div tag with an ID of question. Let's put a text of question text. And we want another div that is going to be an ID of answers. Then we want to have a button. It's going to have the name of next and an ID of next btn. Good. An ID then of, let's put another div here, and we want an ID of result. Great. Once we close the div of quiz container here, we are going to declare the script tag, and here with the source of script.js. Good. So as you see, this is all the structure of the HTML file. As you see, it's not that long because most of our logic will be on the JavaScript side, where we will be injecting the questions and then making other logic to determine if the questions were answered correctly or not, as well as the score. So let's continue right now with the styles. So let's go to the styles.css. Let's start with the body. And on the body, I want to have a font family of Arial. And in the case that there is not Arial, let's fall back to sans serif. There you go. Later, let's assign a background of number F4, F4, F9. It's like a white display flex for the container, flexbox. Justify content center, align items center to. As you know, we are aligning the element vertically as well as horizontally on the center. Then we want a height of 100 viewport height to take all the available space on the screen, or in this case the browser. Then we want a margin of 0. Good. So now let's give some styles to the quiz container div that we declared previously on the HTML file. Let's put a background of white in this case. Let's assign a padding of 20 pixels, border radius of 10 pixels to get the corners rounded, as you see. Let's assign a box shadow, and this box shadow will have 0, 0, 10 pixels, and an RGBA that I already have ready for you. So let's just copy and paste. There you go. We want a width of 300 pixels. Good. So as you see, the box is a little bit wider because we set manually the pixels that we want for the size. And let's put a text align center. So in this way, we are able to align all the elements inside of the container in the center too. Right now, let's reference the answers ID, the one that we have here. Let me show you this one, this div here. Let's go back to the styles.css. Answers. And then we want to reference the button that are inside of the answers that has the class of btn questions. So in this way, we are being very specifically that we want to access the buttons that are inside of the answers, but that has the class of btn questions. So what happens if maybe I have another button that doesn't have the class? This selector won't be applicable because we are using the specificity that we want a button with the btn questions. Let's put a display of block, and then let's assign some margin here. Margin is going to be 10 pixels on top and bottom, and then auto on left and right. Let's put a padding of 10 pixels, and then let's assign a width of 100%, so to take all the available space inside of the parent container. Let's put a border that is going to be none. We want a border radius of 5 pixels. We want a background of number 0077FF, which is a blue color. We want then the color for the font color to be white, and then we want the cursor to be pointer. As you see, you are not able to see these buttons because these buttons will be injected throughout JavaScript when we are coding on the script.js. So let's proceed now with the next classes that we need. In this case, we want answers, and then we want the button also with the class of btn questions. But in this case, we want to access an attribute that is called disable. So what this means is that we are going to be disabling the buttons once we select the answer of our choice. So we want to apply certain styles to this specifically state of the button. So in this way, the user which is using the quiz can see that the buttons are in gray. So that means that the buttons are not clickable anymore. So let's assign a background of gray, and then let's put a cursor not allow. So what this means is that instead of pointer, you'll see that it shows up like a red circle that says no allow. You will see. Then let's call again the answers ID, and we want to look for the buttons on hover that have hover state. Good. And then we want to change the background to number 005F and CC, which is another blue color, which is a little bit darker. So you see, let's assign some styles for the next btn ID, which is another button that we have here, which is to go to the next question. Here we are going to put a margin top of 15 pixels. Then let's assign a padding of 10 pixels. We want a width of 100% to take all the space. As you see, it's taking all the space of the container. We want a background with the color of 2A745, which is a green color. We want the color for the font to be white. We want border none to get rid of those borders, as you see. We want a border radius of 5 pixels. We want cursor pointer. So as you know, if I hover over the button, you see that it changes the cursor. Good. And for the last, we want result, which is for the score. And we are referencing that here, as you see, another dig with the result, where we are going to be showing the score that the user got at the time of when he answered all the questions at the end of the quiz. So here on the result, we want to have a margin top of 15 pixels, and then we want a font weight of bold. So this concludes the part of the styling on the styles.css. Now let's proceed to the script.js part. On the script.js file, let's assign right now a const of questions, and this is going to be an array of questions. So an array of objects. Let me define the first object, and then I'm going to be copying the remaining ones. So the array, in this case, the objects are going to have a property of question, and the question would be, what does HTML stand for? And then we are going to have another property that is called answers. This answers is going to be another array of objects. So we can see, you see that we can have uniterated properties with data types that are the same. So in the answers, let's assign then the first property, which is the first index with the property of text, and is hyper text markup language. And if it is correct or not, correct. And let's put true. So this means that this option is going to be the correct one. Let's proceed with the second one. Text this is going to be high tech modern language, and the correct is going to be false. And for the last one, let's put text also. It's going to be hyperlinks text mark language, and correct to be false because we already have the first choice that is true. As you see, this is the structure that we are going to be following. You can declare the questions that you want with the different choices, and then you can assign the correct one. So to speed up the session part, I'm going to copy the other two questions that I show you on the live demo. So let me just copy them here. You see, they are completely same as the first one that we just explained here. We have the question property, and then the answers. That is going to be an array of objects which is different choices, and the one that is correct, and the other ones that are incorrect. So after we declare these const questions, we need to gather some elements from the DOM. So const question element is going to be equal to document.getElementById. As you know, that's why we have been declaring IDs of question. We want const answer element document.getElementById too, and we want to use the answers ID const next btn, which stands for the next button, document.getElementById, and we want the ID of next btn. For the last one, const result element, we want document.getElementById, and we want to use the result ID. So all these IDs, we have been declaring them on the HTML file. So as you see, question, answer, next btn, and result. Those are the 4 elements that we just access to the document.getElementById. Then let's create a let variable that is going to have the name of current question index. So in this way, we know in what question we are. And then let's create a let variable with score. The score is going to be equal to 0. So this is the starting point that we have 0. Then we are going to declare certain functions that we need for the app. The first one is going to be a function that says startQuiz. As the name suggests, we are going to be calling this function to start the functionality of our quiz. We want the current question index to be 0, and then we want the score to be 0. We're just emphasizing again. Then we want for the result element the text content, which is the one that is going to be showing the score at the end of answering all the questions, to be an empty string. And we want a function that is called showQuestion. We are going to proceed to declare this function right now. Function showQuestion. Then we want another function that we are going to be declaring later, resetState. And here we want to declare a variable that is a let current question is going to be equal to questions, the array that we have at the top here, this one, and the index that we want to get the question with. So let's start with the current question index. Then the question element where we are going to be showing the question, we are going to modify the text content. So text content, and we want the text content to be current question dot question. So we are accessing the current question from the questions array that we have here, and then we are saying that we want the question element that will be showing here to have the text of the question that is from the index that we are accessing. So in this case, if we are on question index number 0, that means that we are going to be on the first index, and that means that we are going to be displaying the first question, which is what does HTML stand for. Then after this, we want to make a for each of all the questions, or in this case, the choices that we have to answer the question. So current question dot answers, and then we are going to do a for each. Then we are going to be iterating to each answer, and then we are going to do something with it. We want to declare a button, const button, document.getElementById, and we want to create a button. Good. Then we want to assign certain classes to the button. Button.classList.add, and we want to assign the class of btn questions, the one that we previously declared on the styles.css. Then we want the button to have a text, so we want to call the text content, and then we want to pass the answer.text. So here we are passing each one of the choices that we have inside of the answer. So we will have 3 buttons. In the first example will be hypertext markup language, high-tech model language, and then hyperlinks text mark language. After this, we want to add an event listener to the button for the click. So button add event listener. We are going to be listening for the click, and in the click we want to do something. In this case, we are going to be calling a function that is called selectAnswer. So let's put here selectAnswer. This is a function that we are going to be declaring shortly too, and we are going to pass the answer. And for the last, we want the answer element to be append child button. So everything that we want here is to be creating the button, and then we are going to be passing all the choices with a button. So if we have the 3 choices, we'll be displaying 3 buttons. Now let's create the function of resetState. Function resetState, and the resetState is going to have answer elements, to be of inner HTML equal to string. So in this way, we are resetting the state before of changing to the next question. And we want the next BTM to start a display of none. Then let's create the function of selectAnswer to select the choice that we want. We are going to pass the answer parameter here. And then we want to get buttons, const buttons, document. We are going to use here a new function that is called query selector all. And then we want to look for the buttons that have the class of btn questions. So all we are doing here is that letting JavaScript know that we want to gather all the buttons, in this case the one that will be displayed here with the choices that have the class of the btn questions. Since if question has 3 choices that you can choose, we are going to have 3 buttons. So that means that all the 3 buttons generated per each text that you see here are the ones that we are going to be gathering with this line here. So after this, we want to iterate on each button. So let's put button then for each. And on each button, we are going to do something, btn. And then what we want to do in each button is btn.disable equal to true. So this means that every time that we select the answer, then we are going to be disabling all the buttons after the user chooses on the first try. So that's why I say on the live demo that you need to be careful because you only have one chance of selecting the choice that you want. And then let's use a conditional if here. If answer is correct, so if the answer that you selected is correct, that is true, then we are going to do score plus plus. And this means that the score, if it is on 0, if we put plus plus, is going to be score plus 1. So that means that it will be increasing 1 point. After this, we are going to call the next btn, and we want the display. In this case, let's go to the style and then the display to be equal to block. And this means that we want the next button to go to the next question to be shown as soon as we select one of the choices that we think that is correct. And now let's assign an event listener for the next btn. So next btn dot add event listener, we are going to be listening for the click event, and then we are going to do something with it. Here we want to current question index to be plus plus. So this means that we are going to be passing from index 0 to index 1. So that means that we are going to be iterating to the next question. And then if current question index if less than questions dot length, then we want to show question. And if not, we want to show result. That is a function that we are going to be declaring shortly too. So what happens here is that once we transition from question number 0 to number 1 from the index, and then we verify that the current question, in this case, current question index is 1, and the questions dot length is equal to 2, because we have 3 indexes. We count from 0 to onward, so 0, 1, and 2. So that means that we have we are on the question number 1, and if question number 1 is less than question dot length that is 2, that means that we still have some questions to show. So that's why we're going to show question. At the time that we click on next and we are on question number 3, and then it goes to question number 4, for example, question number 4 doesn't exist and also is greater than question dot length, that in this case is 2. So that means that we are going to show the result. I hope that you guys understood that. This app is very quite simple, but as you see, there is some logic that we need to handle at the time of transitioning from one question to another, and that's why I'm being very specific and giving you explanations of what the lines are doing, so in that way you can understand better. So for the next, we want the function of showResult, which is the next one, and then we want to reset the state. We want the question element with the text content to be quiz completed, right? And we want the result element dot text content to be we are going to use string interpolation. So here we are going to put your score, and then we are going to use $ plus the two brackets here, score, and then we are going to use questions.length. So basically we are saying here that your score was the score out of questions.length. So if we have 3 questions here, then we are going to get a score. For example, if we answer the first 2 okay, we are going to get a score of 2 of 3. And then for the last, we need to call the function of startQuiz. And as you see here, voila, we are able right now to see the questions that we have here. A small issue that we need to fix here, that is also a typo, is that when we are setting the text content of the question element, so which is the question that we want to show on the quiz, I accidentally here assigned to the current question index, and we need to assign to the current question variable here that we get from the questions array. So let's change this to current question, and if we save, as you see now, we are able to see the question that is related to the choices that we are going to be choosing. So now that we fixed that, let's proceed to test our application. So I am purposely going to select a wrong question here. So I know that the first one is the correct one, but I'm going to click the second one, and then I don't have the option to select another one, so let's click on next. Then for the second one, what does CSS control? I'm going to answer correctly on styling. So that means that we get 1 score from there, 1 point. And then for the second one, let's answer incorrectly too on purpose, just to test the mechanism or the logic. So I know that the correct answer is JavaScript, but I'm going to answer Python, so that means that I'm just going to get 1 score. So if I select Python and then I click on next, as you see, I just got 1 of 3, because that means that I was able to choose only 1 correct answer of only 1 question. So that's all the app, guys. I hope that you have enjoyed and you have liked it, and I hope to see you in the next video.